We're gathering and we're making Century Agave quivers.
Hey, it's Clutch with Thunderstone Wilderness Ventures, and I want to talk to you about plants. Some plants are made for smelling, like those delicious roses that smell so good. Some plants are made for eating, like those stalks of asparagus, makes your pea smell so good. Some plants heal you. Let's talk today about Century Agave. Century Agave is found in the southwest in the Sonoran Desert. Heck, I guess you could make one of these out of yucca too. But this Century Agave is made into a big old quiver. Look at this quiver. Look how many arrows I got in there. All right, so I've seen two people do this before me. The first one, Tony Pike, friend of mine, Ancient Wisdom Survival School out of Missouri. And the other is Christopher Nigris, who wrote this book. He has a little bit on there. He talks about meeting with somebody that had a bunch of weapons and stuff from all around Africa. And he saw something that looked like yucca stock or Century Agave stock. And it was used as a quiver, and he thought, oh yeah, of course, why don't we take all the pith out and fit arrows in there? These are highly biodegradable, and so a plant like this doesn't last, so we don't have anything in the archaeological record. But if you and me and all these other folks decided, hey, that makes a good container, why wouldn't the people that lived on the landscape use this? Rightio? That's crazy.
It is February 2025. We drove all the way to Arizona with our little baby boy. He needs to get a break out of the car. Hey, buddy.
Be climbing some elevation to try to find some Century Agave stocks.
But we needed to stop and get some lunch, and we already saw the Gila River today, and now we're at the Salt. Hey, you gonna play in the sand?
Well, I mean, this is real big at the bottom. I wouldn't use it, but I mean,
you could make a few out of that.
Get a few out of this.
I love that.
Oh, my boo-boos. Yeah, these are smaller than I'd like to see. I need some water. Maybe a Band-Aid. Nah, I think I bled enough. I don't want to end. I don't want to stop. This is a big old one. It's definitely dead. We can get a few good quivers out of this. We can get 2 or 3 hopefully out of this. I'm not going to use this top stuff. It's probably, but I always try to cut a little bit, because if you want to cut some pieces out of the base, scattered on the wind. These seed pods going out there. Almost made it. Yeah, this is a super good stock. Even though these are dry, these still poke you. But this is a beautiful one. It's not too far along, but it's totally dried. It's not green. There's bug holes and stuff. We'll take a knife and cut all these off. You can sand it a little bit, I guess. And I've been waxing mine because it kind of makes them shine. Okay, it's almost dark. Let's keep going.
Sorry, I'm just gonna film a little bit of the process if you don't mind. That one's.
This is not an elegant process. For some reason, I have a vision.
Just like to get the grill action in there. Oh, dang.
I cut it flush, and of course I cracked it.
Oh, really? You want to put a piece of rawhide on it?
Yeah, it's going great, and then I...
Very cool. Up for grabs.
Man, that's a good looking one.
How many people?
That's cool.
But there's no like, so there's not like a team.
Okay, so we're gonna select one of these, but we wanna make sure that it's big enough to actually hold our arrows. Some of these are a little old. You're gonna have to look for bug holes like this. And you know, that doesn't mean you can't use it. And this is gonna be wrapped in rawhide, but next we're gonna determine how long our thing is. So here's our point, but we want at least a couple inches because we want to plug the bottom, and we can always cut it again or shave some off. So there's what we got. Basically, I just need to remove all the pith from there, and I got two ways of doing this. One's with a stick, and the other, if I need to, will be with the drill. So just make a sharp stick. You could put it to a point. If you have the back flat, then I'm able to kind of wedge it in here. So you see how this might take a while. Some go a lot easier. This one's gonna be a little harder to do. I like to just keep going on both sides. Once you break through, it gets a lot easier. Yeah, if you got it between your legs and you have the Century stock on the ground, it's definitely easier to work with. Now, this one's a slow one. So it just takes a little patience, but just keep working it. Or you can get the drill with the paddle bit. If you push it down there, you might find that it gets stuck. So just kind of, before you get to that point, just keep loosening it. I just hit myself in the head. Just practice some patience. Once you get the hole through, you'll be able to get a lot more out. So now we got a hole, but it's still totally full of material. We can clear that out really nice and make it really clean, or we can just throw arrows in it. Personally, that's the way I do it. So we just got a 1-inch paddle bit, really long one. Leaves that come out when the plant's new can be really spiky. I would just slowly remove these with your hand or your knife. But if you do it wrong, you'll just pull off more of your stalk. I mean, that's not wrong. But if you care about it and want to look a little prettier, I would use a file or a knife. And you can sand these down a little bit. Just just trying to look at the contour of this thing. Okay, so we're gonna put a hole right here for the strap. That's good. But I got to take into account that my cap, I don't have to have two down here, but that's the way I like to do it. So just got to make do for my plug. The reason I do a second piece of strap here instead of just tying the strap through here, if you ever want to switch the strap and it's already plugged, you're not going to be able to do that too well. And yeah, do this before you put the plug on the bottom. And if you can't feed it through like this, then you can get thread and needle and sew it onto the piece and then pull it through. You can even put a little bit of glue on this end or grime just to make it harder. There we go. I did it. So I'll use the kind of the fatter part of this and I'll just put a little knot down here, and all this is going to do is be that little strap piece. But I am a little bit worried that that leather's good. Okay, so the strap will go there and through that top hole. All right, so now we're gonna do a cap for this guy. Woo! So what you can do is just cut multiple of these and from the fatter end and then just keep going down. Like that one will probably work. But if I get pitch in there and pop that in, it could potentially crack it. These ones come from lower down on the stock where it's a little skinnier, or upper on the stock, I guess. That one might be good. So I like the way this one's looking. And you could rock it like that. You could be ready to go. But let's glue it in. Welcome to my meth lab. We're gonna make some pitch glue. I got some rabbit scat, pine pitch, some charcoal that's been crushed up. We don't need a ton. We pretty much just want equal parts. And here's our scat. We want to make basically this a binder agent. Everything we do today you can do around the campfire. So I can just roll it in here. This is always the annoying part. Dang it. This is a little bit more than I want on this edge. I messed this up, but and I'm gonna put this whole bottom in too. Okay. It's kind of crazy looking, but we can get it hot and smooth it out. My charcoal wasn't really perfect. Better way to do this would be do it with a pitch stick. Like pitch that you already prepared really well and then heat it up and add it on. That'll work though. That'll stick. Sweet. It's kind of crazy looking, but that's the way I prefer it. But the proper way to heat up wax is actually boil it in water, just like this. So we'll put the wax in there. Wax! If you don't use the boiling water, it'll turn your wax like rancid or something. Just like burns it too much. So we'll melt that wax and we'll just rub it on. You don't need much, just get it on there, try to rub it in fast. Pushing it in with friction is gonna help actually smooth it into the materials. See, it's giving it a nice gloss. You might not be able to see. It's very subtle, but it does make a difference. And it just feels like it's getting protected. And then I'm gonna do this. Okay. Hopefully you can see some of the wax on there, but it does feel better. But I got the wax around here. I got a little bit in the rim. It impregnates it, makes it a little bit harder. And this whole thing just feels smoother. So now we'll put a leather strap on here. You need to make sure that you put this thing up to your back and give yourself enough leather. You do not want to make it too small, too tight. And one way I've done this out in the woods is you do it like this, where you stick your knife in the ground or in the log, and then you just pull it, right? Just like that, okay? I got scissors today. Say hi, Bones. So we'll make ours with scissors. It's gonna have to be really skinny to be able to go through that hole. This side doesn't matter. So I'll probably do about 1 inch wide, I guess. So I'll just poke this through, and I'm gonna tie a big old overhand knot in here. And then I can just pull that tight, and that's the way it'll sit. Now you got to figure out, are you going to run it across your body like that? Then you're going to need more than if you're just hanging it here. So I need some more. I'm cutting too wide now. That's all right. Okay, now we got a strap, so we can put our arrows in there, but I got one more thing I'm gonna do. Look at this guy. He thinks he's getting my rawhide. I've had this rawhide soaking overnight. All right, so we got artificial sinew. Real sinew would be cool. Black thread, whatever the heck you want. I got an S needle. You don't have to use those, but so yeah, we'll leave this like 1 inch or so. We'll leave this like 1 inch or so high, because once that dries, it's gonna shrink more than you maybe expect. Overlap it a little. Okay, so we're gonna put that on there. Ooh, this is gonna be tough. This is thick stuff. And then we're just gonna do like a baseball stitch. And by no means is sewing my thing, so. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. Once it's completely dry, it'll trim off the top. But hopefully this will just snug it up really tight as it dries completely. We're getting there. Made the strap a little small for me, but that's how you do it. See you around, partners.